Let's talk about 5 questions for evidence based agility. One thing I learned from Dan Vacanti is that agility is about getting the right people to ask the right questions at the right cadence so we enable the right course corrections or adjustments. This presentation or video is going to make sense to people who fall in at least one of these 4 categories. Number one, you are an outcome based empirical agile coach. So you value using agile principles, values, and practices as a means to helping businesses create sustainable, measurable improvements in business outcomes. Or if you are in an agile organization that values outcomes, or any organization that values business outcomes, not just activities or going through the motions, but achieving sustainable, measurable improvements in your outcomes. Or if you're thirsty to get better, you know that you've reached a plateau, you have a lot of potential, and you realize that what got you here won't get you there. Or finally, you're curious, you have a growth mindset, you're open to new ideas, and you don't have an opinion or a belief that you know everything there is to know and you can't get any better. So, organizations that are ripe for evidence based agility usually have at least one of these concerns. Their releases are were intended to be minimum viable products, but it turns out that they are minimal, but they are not viable or valuable. Or quality sucks, they're generating a lot of waste. Either they have to do rework, they have to fix their defects, or they're delivering features or solutions that nobody cares about. They have a very slow time to market, time to learn, time to course correct. And so, whatever time and money they're spending, by the time they deliver a solution to the market, it's not what the market needed. It became outdated, or maybe it was never what the market needed, but it took them a long time to figure it out. Or they're trying to improve in managing risk. So their risk exposure is higher than their risk tolerance. So when these organizations um, try to get better, sometimes the solution seems to be aha, epiphany. Let's use Agile. So we start introducing Agile principles, values, and practices. And it turns out that one of two things happen. Number one, the most important executives, business stakeholders, people without whom you cannot achieve the promised results of agility, they don't engage, they don't show up to the party. Or people show up to the party, but it becomes a food fight. It is not a constructive conversation. These are not constructive interactions between individuals. And then we go right back to finger pointing. So the question is why? Why did this happen? And what can we do? There are 5 questions I would like you to explore. Number one, who are the right people? If they're not showing up, why are they not showing up? What do they want? What do they care about? If you understand what they care about, then we'll figure out what are the right questions for us to explore. What are the right outcomes that these stakeholders care about? And what are the right indicators, flawed though they might be, that can tell us whether or not we are achieving the outcomes? What's the right cadence? How often should we talk? How often should we facilitate these interactions between these individuals? Is it once a day, once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, once a quarter, once a year? And as we facilitate these interactions between these key individuals, what are the right course corrections that we can facilitate? And who is the right coach? What's the right kind of stance for someone to guide these organizations as they explore these questions? Or, in a nutshell, what is al dente? What is just right? Just like a chef making pasta, is trying to get a sense for, is this pasta just right for my client? The chef is empirically inspecting the pasta, and when the chef feels the pasta is just right, then the chef is going to plate it, cook it, plate it, and serve it. So too, agile organizations must figure out when their solutions are al dente, and they need a guide who's going to help them figure this out. All right. So, 5 sets of key questions: who are the right people? Why aren't they showing up? What do they want? What are the right questions, the right outcomes? What indicators might tell us whether or not we are headed towards the right outcomes? What's the right cadence for interactions between these individuals? How might we discover the right adjustments? How might we crowdsource the wisdom and bottom up intelligence, the wisdom of the crowds, to figure out the right adjustments? And who is the right guide or coach to enable these insights, to facilitate these interactions between the individuals? Or, in a nutshell, what is al dente? I hope you found this useful. Until our next conversation, thank you. Keep calm and scrum on.